Hi, I'm Mike Matray, your host of Healthcare Matters, where the medical and legal communities come together to discuss healthcare matters. Today's guest is Whit Johnson. Whit is a shareholder with CURRIE, Johnson, Griffin Myers in Jackson, Mississippi. Welcome to the program, Whit.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
HIPAA data breaches are emerging as one of the largest systemic risks a hospital or group faces in the modern healthcare delivery system. What risk management advice would you give physician clients for maintaining HIPAA confidentiality with their EMR system?
There's actually some good news on that, because I think that the law recognizes that a lot of times in these breaches, what happens is you have someone within the facility or someone within the physician's office who is using the medical records for their own purpose, for their own reason, just being nosy, whatever. And they tend to be a little bit protective of physicians or hospitals who do a good job trying to police that and who take action after the fact to show that it's not something that will be tolerated. So keeping that in mind, I think the first thing you have to do is you have to get every employee, even the old ones who've been there forever, you've got to get everyone to sign a very strict confidentiality statement. And it's something we actually do in our office. You make them sign something, you put it in the employee manual, and then you make them sign something, say, I understand that the information within this office is confidential, is protected by federal law, is protected by state law. I understand I can only use it for the purposes within this office. I understand I cannot access it except for the purposes within this office. You know, something that is very, very firm and finite and leaves no question about their responsibilities. Next, I think you need to make them understand what you just asked me about, which I doubt a lot of doctors understand, and that is the metadata situation and the audit trail. They need to understand that they cannot do anything on that system without that system remembering it forever. And that you as a physician will be able to tell who got into the system, when they got into the system, where they got into the system from, what they looked at. You can tell exactly what was accessed. So they need to understand that, because I suspect a large part of this is people thinking, well, I can go to the file. I mean, they could go to the hard copy file and look and nobody'd ever know. You can't do that with the EMR. Next, I think you have to have a very strict password situation. I don't know what doctors' offices require. Interestingly, a lot of our carriers and our own malpractice carrier require us to have various password requirements, including on our mobile devices, because our mobile devices are a lot of times hooked to our internal server here in the office. So you have to have passwords on your phone. You have to have passwords on your computer. Some of our carriers require the passwords to be changed every so often. So you have to have a very strict password situation. I think you need to be sure that each of your employees understands that inappropriately accessing someone's electronic medical record is a firing offense, and it is a firing offense first offense, without any excuse, without any rationalization. And the reason for that is, if the facility or the doctor's office does not fire that person on first offense, they can be deemed to have ratified that person's actions, and now they have lost the protection that the courts will generally try to give to a group that's trying to do the right thing.
Excellent. Well, Whit, thank you for joining us today on Healthcare Matters, and I hope to talk to you again soon.
Sounds good. I hope this helped.
Thank you. How has the move from paper medical records to electronic medical records affected best practices for entering data into your patient's charts? And what guidance would you give physicians so that they are using best practices when entering data into their patients' charts?